Hey everyone, Chelsea here from A Frugal Homestead. Today it is the middle of February and we're getting ready to start some seeds indoors in our home. And so I kind of wanted to show you my seed setup as well as my new way of storing my seeds. So I have my seed starter planner. This is a printable that we actually have in our Etsy shop. This is what I use to kind of keep track of things throughout the year. You can print everything and put it in a binder, or you could spiral bind it, whatever. But a couple weeks ago I went through and did my seed inventory. These are all of my seeds here, so I drop them. Most of these in here are squash and pumpkin seeds, and then this box here has all of our other seeds, but I'm going to organize them into my box here. Because it just takes up so much space, and as you saw, boxes fall over and then I lose seeds, and I don't want that. But I went through and I figured out how much I have of each of my seeds, how much I have of my flower seeds, and then I have a really long list of all our different pumpkins. We have a big pumpkin patch each year. This year is going to be our biggest one. We open up to the community. And it's a great way to raise some money, but as well as just provide a service to our community for inexpensive pumpkins. So we're gonna go ahead and get started organizing, and I'll show you how I'm putting things together this year. So this is the box I'm using to organize my seeds. And you've probably seen these before. They're pretty popular. They're photo or card saving kits. And in this one, let's see, there's 2, 4, 6, 8. So there's 16 boxes. We actually have one of these that we use to organize our card games. So like our Uno cards and our Deco cards and all of that stuff. So I've really liked it. They're spacious little boxes. And lots of people not lots, but several people I've seen do this. And so I thought this is the perfect way to really get organized. And so this is what I've been using up until now. These two wonderful, this little basket and this little box. It works, but I do find that they get really full, they get really messy. I do lose seeds. In fact, when I was doing my seed planting guide, there was little seeds at the bottom, and I was like, dang it, I don't even know what these are for. I'm pretty sure they were onion seeds, but I don't know which one. So we are gonna go ahead and get organized. And what I've already done is I used my planner. Let me show you here. I used my planner. I have everything kind of listed of what I actually have in these boxes, from what it is, how many seeds I might have or packages, where I got them. Some of them are just seed from last year that we just kept, some I've purchased, and then the dates in which the seeds, the year the seed was purchased or harvested. And so what I'm gonna do is just take my little box here. This is my tomato box. And I pretty well organized them earlier. So I have a couple of seeds of beefsteak tomatoes. This is some Marglobe tomatoes. This is some Delicious, and these ones are Bonnie Best. So all of those go into my little tomato card, and then they're all in there, and I don't have an issue. And I can just slip it right in here. Okay, then I have cabbage. And cabbage, I put cabbage and lettuce. You could also put like greens, you know, if you were doing kale or spinach. Because I don't know about you, but they're super tiny seeds, and so you don't need a lot of packages. I have a ton of space. So I have a couple of different types of cabbage. I don't have my lettuce seed yet. I think we might be doing some spinach this year. Cucumber has its own little container because my husband and son love cucumbers, so I've got 4 packages of cucumbers there. Then I've got, carrots. We've been growing a lot of carrots. In fact, I'm going to start some carrot seeds here probably today, a little bit later. Those are carrots. And No, those are straw flowers. I thought I had some other carrot seeds. So I harvested some. That's what this package is. I harvested some a year or so ago from our carrots that we have. And I used that seed last year. So there is my box. I feel like that is much more organized. I do have some ranunculus that we're going to start. But everything fits in here. It's a lot easier to see and maintain. It'll go on my shelf really nicely like this. I can put it anywhere. It's not going to get wet. It's not going to spill out. It'll stay nice and dry. So yeah, I really like the idea behind this this box. So that's kind of how I'm organizing my seeds this year. So we're going to start our seeds today. This is actually the first time that I am using seed trays. I've never done that before. Typically we do winter sowing of our seeds, which we will do for some of our other crops of seed. But I actually wanted to start getting my cold garden ready, or my winter garden, I guess you could say, or spring garden. So my cold vegetables like my onions, carrots, cabbage, some tomatoes, although tomatoes aren't really cold, but those need to get started. So that's what we're going to do here, and we're going to do some flowers as well for our flower garden. So I'm not starting carrots in my trays. I will put those directly in the ground, and probably the same with my cabbage, but we might try an experiment. I got these trays off of Amazon. I think they were like 20 bucks. There's 5 of them. They come with the tray. Excuse me. And then this tray will hold the water. And then we have these covers, plastic covers that give it that greenhouse effect, right? And then they have these that snap into them so that you can adjust the temperature and how much moisture can exit, if you will. So I'll link these down in the description. They seem like nice trays. We'll see how it goes. If we love them, then awesome. If we don't love them, then we'll try something different. And like I said, we do a lot of winter sowing, so we save all of our milk cartons or 2-liter soda bottles, Gatorade, little small Gatorade containers, whatever. We get those from friends and family, and we save them, and those work great for winter sowing. And we'll winter sow sometime in probably March, maybe middle of March. I'll start getting my milk jugs ready. Maybe before that, we'll see. Our weather's actually been really nice for February, a little too nice, so we're kind of waiting for second winter. All right, so I'm just gonna, in this big bowl, I mixed some potting soil with some starter soil. That's kind of a like peat moss and whatever else I can come up with. So just a couple packages that I bought from the nursery, and we're just gonna fill these trays up with soil. Our basement, we have a daylight basement, so we're actually going to put these down in our daylight basement, and that will be kind of the perfect spot for them. At least I think. We'll see. Like I said, this is the first time we're really starting seeds indoors. We don't typically do that just because we have a long enough growing season for most things. However, last year we had a really good early spring garden of onions and carrots, and we just didn't grow enough. We had onions in both gardens, and we have run out of onions, and we're in the middle of February, and I have used the last of my onions, and so I want to grow more this year. And we literally yesterday used the last of the carrots that we grew. Now I still have carrots. I have freeze-dried carrots that we did freeze-dry from, I think it's a year. I think we grew them 2 years ago, and I freeze-dried dried them, if I remember correctly. It would say on the package, so I could just look on the package. But so if I do need carrots for any of my cooking or whatever, I don't necessarily have to go to the grocery store and buy them. Although we do like to have fresh carrots, like if we're juicing, or my husband just likes to eat carrots. He loves baby carrots. So it's always, carrots are always something that I have on hand. And so I like to grow as much as I can. Like that's, my goal is to get as much of our own produce from our garden. All right, that looks pretty good, those 2 trays. So we're gonna go ahead and start putting seeds in them. So we're gonna use this and get our seeds out for our trays here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is onions. We eat a lot of onions. It's one of our, as I was telling you earlier, it's just something that we eat a lot of. We eat a lot of carrots. So onions is a good thing to start at our house. And onions are always fun because they're so teeny tiny. And so I'm just gonna put a seed or 2 in each of these trays. And we'll cover them with just a little bit more soil, just a tiny bit when we get there. And I'm just gonna do several varieties. You could, keep track of what they are specifically. I am not going to keep track of what they are specifically because that would be, I don't really care. When it comes to other things, I care a little bit more about the variety, especially if I'm just starting one, like if I'm just starting to use a certain seed, like a different type of tomato or something like that. I might be like, oh, I want to keep track of that so that I can purchase more or not purchase more. But when it comes to onions, we actually are not very particular. We like all different kinds of onions. I don't know that there's an onion that we've ever purchased that we don't like. So I know it's kind of hard to see because these onion seeds are dark and the trays are dark and the soil is dark. And then I'm just gonna sprinkle just a little bit of soil over the top. Not much, just kind of enough to cover up those seeds a little. Okay, there's my onions. And then I will use my marker here and I will just mark on here, onions. And so we've got onions. Now the next one, we're gonna do a little bit of a variety. I'm gonna push these down just a little bit because the next seeds can go a little bit deeper than those onions. You kind of want the onions on the surface. We're gonna do some peppers. These are the Rainbow Bell blend. It's the only kind that we get, so I could just label these peppers and they should work out just great. I'm just gonna put probably 2 seeds in each just to hope that at least one of them germinates. We, in all actuality, do not always have very good luck with peppers. Which is kind of interesting to me because we live in such a warm, we're in a 7-8 climate. So yeah, we get snow, but most of the year we're actually really quite warm. And so I would think that peppers would do better than they do. And maybe it's just our soil, maybe it's just our planting. I don't really know what it is, but for some reason we really can struggle with those. What else are we going to put in here? We're going to do some Bonnie Best tomatoes. We'll put those right there. And Margalobe tomatoes. And what's our other one? And I don't know. So these are some Bonnie Best tomato seeds. It's a nice size. Again, I'll put, you know, 1 or 2 in there, just in hopes that one will germinate. You can always thin them, right, if you need. And then these are Margalobe. Ooh, that was a lot. Maybe a few too many. Just a couple in there. Probably a few more than I need, but I'll just watch it, and as they start to germinate, put these. These are delicious tomatoes. So I like to have a variety of tomatoes for a variety of things. We have a lot of videos on canning tomatoes. We started doing tomato sauce. We've done pasta sauce. We've done what else? All sorts of different tomato things. I can't think of all of them, but you know, that's always a good thing to have in your food storage. We use a lot of tomatoes in just recipes, especially if you eat a lot of pasta. And my kids love spaghetti, so we do eat pasta. Okay, so there's our tomato and pepper tray. Now, so we're going to plant in this last tray just some flowers. So we have some dahlia seeds here that we're gonna add to the mix. Some of them are still in their paper, some of them are not. Shake this up a little. Some of our dahlia seeds here. Dahlias. Then we're going to do so we got some dahlias there. We're going to do a row of straw flower. I actually really like straw flower. I'm just doing a row. We're going to have a combination. We planted straw flower the first year we did our cut flower garden, and I absolutely loved them. But I've struggled to get them to grow since. So I'm starting them early this year in hopes that we can get them actually growing this year, because they were really pretty. They're like straw, that's the name straw flower, in that they kind of are real hardy, and The texture is like straw, but they keep their shape and they keep their color. They dry really well. They're really beautiful. I just planted some aster. I tried to get this to grow last year. It did not. So we're trying it again this year. And then I have a few carnation seeds. We did get some of these to grow last year in our cut flower garden. And they were really pretty, but they were very small. They were about this big. So I would like to get some bigger this year. So we're starting them a little bit earlier in hopes that we can get those to do something. All right, lastly, I am going to save these last rows for my ranunculus. So if you've never seen ranunculus, this is kind of what it looks like. They're like little bulbs. They're funky looking. There's still some in here. These are dry ones. I'm saving those. I'm gonna use those a little bit later. Save them in case the ones that we start in here don't work out. I've heard lots of different options for what to do with ranunculus, whether you should start them indoors or outdoors. I am gonna start some here just to see if we can jump start them, because they do take a little bit longer, and they're a spring and early summer flower, so we want them to actually blossom during the time they're supposed to. So we're going to leave these 3 sections here for those ranunculus, and they're soaking right now, and they'll be ready in a bit when we can plant them. This space here is where we're going to put our plants, our starts. It's right in the window. We're going to have some lights that we bring in to kind of keep them warm and keep them growing. Over here is our incubators for our eggs that we're getting ready to hatch. So this room stays fairly warm, gets a lot of sun. It should be a good spot for our seed starts, but we will see. Again, this is the first year we're really starting things indoors rather than winter sowing everything. So we're going to see how it goes. So we got the trays in, we got these little plastic covers on, so they snap in. Oops, I have it the wrong way, that's why. Snap in, and then you can either have it open or close to let the air in or out. I'm gonna start with them closed, see if we can kind of make like a greenhouse effect, get that moisture moving. I did bring down my spray bottle, so we can kind of keep the soil moist and see how that works for us as we're going along. And then I have some lights that will keep on to help get those seeds started growing. Hey everyone. I just wanted to give a little bit of an update on our seeds that we started inside. So I'm going to show you, it's been 10-11 days since we planted our seed starts in the little trays that we had, and they're looking great. So this is our window here. These are our seeds. These are the 5 trays that we did. You'll remember we planted onions. Look at our little onions here. They're looking great. We did some corn. It's probably a little early for corn, but I wanted to try it just to see. I had some extra seed from last year. These are all our tomatoes. These right here have not come up yet. They're peppers. I think it's still just a little too cool for them. And we have this little fan going to kind of help make our seeds a little stronger. So I think that keeps it pretty cool. A little bit more corn. These right here are our giant pumpkin seeds. I don't know if that part was on the video, but we planted 5 in the tray. So far 4 have come up. We're gonna try and plant some giant pumpkins, see how big we can get them this year. This is cabbage back here, and they're a little stringy or leggy, I guess you would say. Not really what I wanted, but I didn't get the fan on them soon enough. I think that's part of it. And then this last tray is starting to look really great. These are my ranunculuses over here. These are all flowers. These are some dahlias, I believe, right here. So these are just some little flower starts that I started. So overall, I think they're looking good. They've got lots of light, lots of moisture, lots of air, some natural sun. So I'm hoping that we have a nice, successful harvest. And I will try and keep you up to date. We'll probably do maybe another video when we transplant them from here into bigger containers and then again to the garden. But this is just kind of getting those seeds started and getting ready. And so far they're looking great. If you haven't started your own garden yet or started your seeds, now's a great time. We're in zone 7A in the Northern Hemisphere. So that just kind of depends on where you live as well. But if you're thinking about it, I would highly encourage you to do it. It is totally worth it to have your own garden, to have your own fresh veggies and fruit, and it really isn't as hard as you think. So get started now. If you're not really sure if you want to start your plants indoors, check out our video on winter sowing your vegetables or winter sowing your seeds. Winter sowing is what I have been using for the past 5 years. It is a great method to get those vegetable seeds started. Very much like sowing them indoors, but you're sowing them outside in milk jugs or soda bottles or plastic containers. They're really hardy, they transplant really well. So if you want kind of a foolproof method that really is a lot faster and less time consuming, then check out winter sowing, and I'll leave a link to the video as well. Otherwise, if you have questions or comments, leave them down below, and we'll see you guys next time.